staying in the NBA, let's go NBA broader free agency. We talked about the Grizzlies free agency. Let's go NBA free agency. And this is the direction that I want us to take. There's a lot of moves that have been made, but has there been any moves so far in this free agent frenzy, if you want to call it that, that has made you go, oh, for the Grizzlies in terms of their standing in the West?
Just the same ones that we talked about last week, and we'll talk about the new ones that didn't move me. I think that Pelicans made themselves better. I don't know how much better with the DeJounte Murray move.
Right.
I think that the Thunder getting Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso, hell yeah, you're the number one seed, in my opinion, especially with all the talent you have throughout that roster. Yeah. And then the Mavs going to get Klay Thompson. I like that.
I think he's so
the other one that I could make the case for that will have to do with, one of the teams that helped facilitate a sign and trade. But I'm not saying they're going to be like better than the Grizzlies, but they're moving on up with the assets they've accrued and the people they have next to their one big superstar. Do you see what the Spurs did? They got Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You have Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, two vets next to Wemby, and now you have Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle. And you have a laundry list worth of first-round picks that you could use to go trade. I think that's more future-oriented. What I'm talking about, though.
Do you think San Antonio is a contender? Or do you? It feels like they're making moves that they maybe think that they are. But do you think that?
No, I don't think they think they are this year. I think
2-3 years.
They have this slow build. 2 years, 3 years from now, we might be calling them the next big contender. I really do believe that, because they have done a good job with getting assets. And they've got this nice little gap year set up to where they can make Wemby better alongside a couple of vets.
Dude, let me tell you, man, Wemby is a freak of nature.
Well, but that's part of this, though, too. Is as much as we're focusing on the here and now, that train, that's coming. It may be 1,000 miles away right now, and you're not thinking about it.
Right.
But before you know it, it's going to be 200 miles away. Before you know it, it'll be 50 miles away. Before you know it, it'll be ready. It'll be blowing past you. And I'm talking for everybody in the West because of how damn good he is. But no, I don't think there's anybody in the West outside of the Thunder and the Mavs that really did anything in free agency that scares me, right? I mean, am I fair in saying that?
No, I think I don't even know if the Mavs I think the Klay Thompson signing is a nothing burger for me. But
then they got Quentin Grimes, and then they went and got Najee Marshall. They made some nice little moves.
They made some. I mean, sure, they lost Derrick Jones, who I think Derrick Jones is better than Najee Marshall. They lost Tim Hardaway Jr., got Quentin Grimes. I think that's negligible, maybe. I think OKC is always going to be right up there. I think Denver is about to lose. I think they're about to have a decline. Honestly,
they didn't, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't move up. They moved down this offseason. Lakers moved down. Clippers moved down. So for the Grizzlies' sake, there's only two teams I can put in that realm. Great. But there's one that tried to, that I don't know if I guess there's a couple that tried to that I don't know if they succeeded.
Who's that?
I guess we'll start with the Kings. Is that fair? DeMar DeRozan. The Kings got DeMar DeRozan. Bulls got Chris Duarte, 2 second-round picks in cash, and then the Spurs got Harrison Barnes in that deal.
Right.
But DeMar DeRozan on the Kings, I want to like it. I want to, but I just don't know how that's going to work out, because that team has worked through the two-man game of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. That's how they've gotten to where they're at right now.
It's weird.
What's been helpful is having a guy like Harrison Barnes and Malik Monk and Keegan Murray stretching this court and shooting threes. Well, now you bring in DeMar DeRozan to replace that sort of three, whatever you want to call it, that Harrison Barnes was playing. And it's kind of like he can't shoot. He's a bucket getting fool. He's a 3-time first team All-NBA guy. He's great. But does he fit with that team?
Yeah, name value wise, you go, whoa, that's a splash. Yeah. But then you look at the way that they mix, and you're like, well, he needs the ball in the high post, kind of face up. Well, that's where Sabonis gets it, and
De'Aaron Fox,
and De'Aaron Fox has to have a lane, and I don't know. It
didn't work? Do much. I think they'll be slightly better, I guess.
I don't know, man.
It didn't do anything for me to put the Kings in some different territory besides low protected seed and play in. That's what I think about them.
I agree totally. I don't think it moved the needle in terms of their their ascension into the top of the Western Conference.
Right. They were a 3 seed 2 years ago. Let's think about it that way. Are they ever going to get back to that with this iteration of the Kings? Probably not.
I mean, we'll see if Keegan Murray has one of his, if he has a come up, because that kid is nasty.
He's nasty.
If he has a come up, they could still be good. They could ascend higher because they've got young kids that are going to continue to grow. But does DeMar DeRozan change that? Does he raise the ceiling? I don't think so.
And he's 35 years old and he doesn't really play defense. And you're like, just strange to me for them to make an all-in move to go get DeMar.
Just makes no sense, man.
And it wasn't really all in, to be fair. I mean, it was 3 years, $70 million, and then they gave up second-round picks because the Bulls are idiots. The Bulls might be the worst run franchise in the NBA right now.
Zach Edey just passed out of the post. Jake LaRavia hit a 3. Let's go!
Oh, we love that. Now, this is the thing we'll leave these fine folks listening in with. Buddy Hield to the Warriors. Let's talk through it. Him and Steph Curry lead the NBA the last 5 years in three-pointers made.
Yeah, that's good. I mean,
kind of an effort to replace Klay Thompson and create Splash Brothers again, but it's not. That ain't the same, buddy.
But I'll say this: what made Klay so special was obviously his shooting, but his defensive presence.
Earlier in the run, yes.
During their
never gave a damn on defense.
During their dynasty, that Klay was locking folks down. And Buddy Hield's never done that a day in his life.
And he's 31 too. It's not like he's like some young spry chicken.
I have a feeling we are going to see a struggling Golden State Warriors team this year.
Yeah. So to answer the question, the prompt here at the top, there's 2 teams, the Mavs and the Thunder. Like we talked about even last week, that have moved in the right direction. And then there's other teams sort of flailing around trying to find their way. And I think the Kings and Warriors fall into those categories.
I think so too. They're heading there. I think the Kings are going to be heading. I think the Kings are going to stay level. I think the Warriors are slipping. I think Denver's slipping. And that's kind of really about it. I think the Clippers are slipping too. I think the Clippers are going to go down. So